So today we're going to talk about mobile video production. My name is River. I'm the graduate assistant at the ADP Center for Learning Technologies. And this is basically what we're going to cover today. So first, we're going to talk about the benefits of video production or just videos in general. Um, Next, we'll cover some camera basics. Then we'll cover shooting tips. And then lastly, we'll cover editing. So benefits. Why should you use video over any other form of information? So typically, so this is a quote. It says, students slash audience will be more engaged when you incorporate video into the classroom. And that's coming from my generation. So people are more attracted to videos and it's just easier for people to understand, especially the younger generation. And then next, an EdTech review says there is a higher percentage of retaining visuals in the human brain than text or audio. So video just kind of resonates with people differently than just reading or listening to something. Okay, next, creating unique and personal messages allows for the application of highest level of cognitive abilities for abstract ideas. So it's you can kind of process information differently and kind of um, convey a message while using a higher level of cognitive abilities rather than just writing or typing something out. The definition of knowledge has changed from mindless memorization to actual genuine performance. So you're actually applying the information and you kind of have to use more skills to create this video. Visual composition requires the creators to employ their linguistic skills during the writing and editing stages. And lastly, the collaborative aspect of the video production um, fosters communication and collaboration skills with the crew members. So if you have multiple people working on a project with multiple people, it kind of allows collaboration as well as application of the information in a different way. Camera basics, what should I know? So there's a lot of different types of videos that you can create, but here's just a couple that I'm going to briefly go over. First is a movie trailer. Next is a public service announcement, news segment or documentary, and there's many more, but today I'm just going to cover 3 of them. So the first is a movie trailer. Everyone knows what that is, but basically, like you can create a trailer in a format to create like a short story or a novel and kind of make it as if it's like a coming to a theater near you. So this is just an example of a student made trailer. So that's just one example of a movie trailer. Next is a public service announcement. They're great ways to kind of utilize creativity, but also compassion because the topics can be kind of sensitive. Um, so, of course, like it really just depends on whatever the project is and what kind of video you want to create. But this is just another example of a PSA. So that's just one example. And then lastly, you can do a news segment or a documentary. These allow documentaries are kind of a little bit more complex. They show issues affecting society and its people, and since it's based off of reality, it allows you to question longstanding assumptions about the way the world operates. So it kind of gets you thinking. And this is an example of a student created documentary. It's actually a very good one. Um, and like, yeah. So yeah, again, it totally depends on what the project is, what you want to convey, different types of videos for different purposes. The process is pretty simple. I know the task can seem daunting, but essentially you just have to plan what you want to create. Uh, that could be involving collecting information, creating an outline of how you want to who you want to include, what messages you want to put across, what you want to say, shooting the actual video, executing it, and then editing it afterwards. So it's suggested to kind of write everything out and create an outline or just take notes and just brainstorm and create a storyboard. So some questions that may be relevant would be, will your idea cause the viewer to have a reaction? And the more technical questions such as, how many shots will you need? What actors do I need? What places do I want to film in? How many places? So on and so forth. And then next, you want to begin to storyboard. So storyboarding is kind of just creating all the scenes and listing things like in this location, we want this to occur. This is the shot type that we want. This is what the dialogue is going to be. Is it going to be them talking in the video, or is it going to be a voiceover? Just kind of detailing those different things. www.storyboardthat.com is a great free visual online virtual storyboarding not an application but website that you can kind of create one and it's a pretty good resource. Okay, so next is shooting tips. So getting more into like the technical aspects of video production. How do I shoot? Where do I begin? So firstly, you want to make sure to have permission to shoot in the location. So you want to make sure that there's no copyrighted material that's in your video, or even brands. You know, like I'm not sure if anyone's seen it, but like in certain movies, sometimes they'll have to like blur out a certain brand, or for instance, if there's someone's using a MacBook or like an Apple laptop, they'll kind of put like a sticker over, or they'll blur it out because unless it's a paid, like you just want to be careful legally. And then also you want to make sure to have everyone's consent and even the people in the background, because you want to make sure that they know that they're being filmed. Okay, so some more technicalities. Lighting. You don't need expensive lighting equipment. Outdoors or somewhere near the window or just a bright space in general is pretty sufficient. You want to avoid heavily backlit areas because it will make the scene come out very dark on the camera. And you always want to make sure that the light source is coming from in front of the person. So the light should be hitting on the person's face or the scene that you want to be shooting. It should never, so basically the lighting would be coming from behind the camera towards the scene. Because if it was the other way around, it would either be too bright or it just, the lighting should be on the actual scene that you want to be as a part of the focus. To audio. So you want to avoid rooms that echo. You want to avoid wind. If you're interviewing a person and you want to make sure that it's good quality audio, you want to be as close to the subject as possible. And then lastly, you want to keep it steady. So unless you're planning on creating some kind of docudrama like the Blair Witch Project, I would suggest propping it. If you can use a tripod, it would be ideal, because the human hand can be shaky no matter how stand you're still still you're standing. So propping it up or using a tripod so it is like stable is the best option. And also you can borrow a mobile camera kit from the ADP Center and check it out. So that would include like a tripod, a microphone, a camera. So we do have those resources available. Okay, so I'm just gonna go over some framing. There are different kinds of shots. We've all watched movies and TV, and there's just different kinds of angles that you can shoot with. So The establishing shot is basically, it establishes where the action takes place. So it kind of just captures the scene as a whole. Next would be a long shot. So it's still from the distance and it's a head to toe of all the characters. Then there's a medium shot. So it's kind of like half of the body, I would say. So it's from the top of the head to the midsection. Then there's a close-up. So typically like in documentaries or interviews, they use close-ups. Here the woman is looking off to the right. So, you know, you wanna leave a little bit of space on that side of the frame. Then there's an extreme close-up. It's okay to cut off certain parts of their, like if you wanna cut off their head, because if you wanna capture a facial expression or like a small gesture, that's when you would utilize the close-up. But yeah, you should be careful because you wanna include the neck. But it really just depends on how you wanna edit it. And then lastly, there's over the shoulder. And so in the shot, you'll see like a little bit of the person on the left, their backside, and then a medium shot of like the actual focus of the clip. So we've all seen these different shots in all the movies and TV shows and videos that we've seen before. Okay, next is orientation. This is super important. I can't emphasize this enough. So it says the simplest rule of thumb is to ensure that you always flip your phone and film it in landscape mode. So that's horizontal. So on my phone, I would want to set it up like this, because if you set it up vertically, sorry, my flash went off. Okay, if you set it up vertically, you're going to get what shows on the picture right here. You're going to get those black lines on the side. But if you set it up in landscape mode, which is horizontally, you will actually capture the whole frame rather than having those two black lines on the side. Okay, and here's just a couple of camera hacks. They're like cheap, not cheap, but like they're free basically and like affordable. So the first one up to the top left is you can use like a plastic bag and kind of create a foggy effect and play around with that. This on the bottom, they use like a Starbucks cup holder to create kind of more like a focused look on the viewfinder and on the actual, what is that called? Like the actual, I can't even think of the word, what takes the picture. And then lastly here, they got pretty creative and used like 2 paper clips just to prop up the phone. So honestly, you don't even need a tripod when you can just prop your phone up like that. Okay, editing. So I filmed, and now what? So if you filmed on your phone, so since this is mobile video production, most likely you filmed on your phone or an iPad or some kind of device like that. You want to dump your files onto the computer after shooting and editing, because you have to keep in mind how much storage you have on your device, and also you want to back it up. So uploading it to like some kind of cloud-based storage like Dropbox or Google Drive is good, because one, you can back it up, and then also you can free the storage on your phone. You know, it really just depends on what kind of phone you have and how much storage you have and how much space you have left, how much of that storage you actually have left. So it's always good to just take advantage of having a secondary sort, or like a secondary place that you can leave your videos, or if you want to just delete it from your phone. So like I know my phone has no storage space left, so I would upload it to Dropbox or Google Drive right away, because I want it off of my phone, and also if something happens to my phone, like you want to have multiple copies. And the good thing about Google Drive or Dropbox is you can access it from any computer. You just have to log on. You can even access it from different phones, so it's good to just back it up. Always back it up just in case. Okay, and then video editing apps. So I'm just gonna go over briefly two. One is iMovie, and then the next is Adobe Premiere Rush. iMovie only works on Apple products, and then Adobe Premiere Rush works both on Apple and Android products. since I'm on a Mac, I'm gonna show you what iMovie looks like. So this is what it is. So basically you can, this is the screen that comes up when you first open iMovie. You can create new, or you can work on a project that you were working on. So if I wanted to create a new one, let's say a movie, you can import media. So let's say you had taken a video on your phone, and then you had uploaded it. So you can use iMovie from your phone too, but let's say you want to upload it onto the computer to edit it. You would import it onto your computer and then import the media onto iMovie. Oh, and you can also record uh, actually on iMovie if you have a camera on your computer, which if you have a MacBook, you most likely do. But if I wanted to pull files from my computer, this is where I would find it. And basically you would import that video. And then here is where you kind of would do the editing and dragging and cutting and splitting the clip, um, and kind of just creating the flow of your video. Okay, and here are just some editing tips. Basically, you want to just focus on getting your clips in order first before you worry about like adding titles, adding effects, transitions, color correction, music, like those kinds of things are kind of details. The most important thing would be making sure that the video makes sense. Put it in order and then clip the videos, trim them, make sure that like it flows. Does your story make sense? Does it look good? You want to make sure to do that before then you can focus on the transitions. Or if you want to add, like, say you're doing a documentary and you have everything, the sequence is good, and then you want to add some kind of words or like a title saying this is so and so. You can do that. And then lastly, you want to go through and make sure all of your audio levels are similar. So if you're shooting, a video, you shoot one shot indoors and then you shoot it outdoors in a different location, and then you go back and you shoot it in a different room. The audio levels are going to be different, especially if it's on your phone. So you might have an unbalanced sound, and just make sure that the audio levels are good so you can actually edit the levels on iMovie. It gives you the option to kind of, well, since I don't have a video here, I can't show you, but like if there was a video here, you would just click here and then it gives you the option to, it would pop up right here and it would just give you the option to like make the sound louder or softer. So that's pretty much it. I mean, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them now. Also, you can visit us at the ADP Center. This is our information. This is our, if you want to follow us on social media, it's just at ADP Center. But also, if you have any questions that may not pop up right now, you can always email us here.